Either way, I mean, you won 2 games on both rounds. I think that was a successful night for you, in my opinion. But
Like I said, I just wish I could. I had a way to influence the matches in my favor a little bit.
well, I mean, it's all about strategy, as you know. I mean, there's not really any one thing you can do.
Well, that's just a thing that I'm suspecting. In each of these games where you play the monster and stuff like that, yeah, there has to be strategy involved. But I'm trying to wrap my head around, like, there has to be more ways to win than just timing.
I mean, you're also trying to make it more complex than it is. Because, I mean, in all honesty, yes, I think it is a little bit more balanced toward the hunter because I am winning a lot more frequently. But like at the same time, I started getting to a point where I was getting a lot more wins on you as the monster, and it was becoming harder and harder. So I mean, I strategize. It is about timing. So I mean, maybe it's just you know more focus on it and knowing when to start everything. Like I said, and like you said, timing.
Like I said, there's got to be more ways to win than just waiting for the right time to attack, so to speak.
But then you're making it more complicated, in my opinion, because maybe that is quite literally all you have to do as the monster is just kind of do timing. Because, like I said, there isn't like one thing. I mean, the thing about evacuation is each win affects the next round. So the fact that you beat me as in Hunt on Fusion Plant allowed your monsters to have, armor, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just all about no. I don't want to do another one. We're not doing another one. It's already late. Um, so it's just kind of making sure, for those watching on YouTube, I mean, if you think it is more than timing, just give us a shout. Let us know. But I do feel like it's a lot of timing and a lot of strategy. Just because, it is 1 versus 4. But, so far, I
I
think,
guess I guess another aspect that is, and you are right, I'm probably making it more complicated than what it is. But as you may already know, um, I do like to try to play to win in a lot of various games that I play. So when I'm going head to head with somebody, I like to know um, or basically get a grasp of how to win. And with before you get ahead of me, um, there are various game modes in the evacuation set that I guess I have not fully grasped. In Nest, when I'm playing the monster, I feel like I'm in a situation where I am damned if I do, and I am damned if I don't. If I wait too long with with hatching the eggs, you guys will just come through and blast them all. If I just go in hatching all the eggs at once to have like a help fighter, then I can't keep doing that, or the match will be over in like 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then when you have things like rescue, if like you guys have like jet hunters have like jetpacks where they can fly across the map in like 2 or 3 minutes, whereas me, I have a buffer of like 3 stamina circles, which means I'm only good for a good 3 leap buffers before I have to use a charge attack to gain some momentum in those types of matches.
right.
And
And just
then
to comment just on the rescue missions, like, see, in that one, it is a little bit rough because if you focus all your time getting there, you're likely to fail because the monster will get defeated because you're only stage 1. Whereas, like, you have to know, for me, when I play rescues as a monster, I feel like I have a better sense of running away. Like, I might kill one, I might try to kill a second, but if I'm taking too much health, I have a better sense of knowing when to get out of there to regenerate my armor in time for the next round of survivors. But that's what makes me think those first two waves are crucial, even though the last wave is a lot of survivors. Like, I can't, as a monster, wait till that final round because there's,
Well, for me,
in my opinion, no way to heal or kill all 5 of those before someone gets evacuated. And that's what makes it hard, because if you don't get at least 1 or 2 on the first 2 waves, you've got a lot of survivors to kill on that final wave.
well, I guess another thing that's bothering me, and we do have to get off here soon, but I guess, with conversation and shit like that, another thing that I guess bothers me about Evolve is when you lose, they force a handicap on you. And it's just the fact that, like, yeah, I won twice, and that's a good feeling to have, but it's just the fact that I won with handicaps. So, there's that, and then, like I said, when you're playing a monster, I'm not sure if you've had this feeling, the same feeling that I have, is I feel like in a lot of the different game modes, you're in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And yes, you're right, which means it all boils down to timing, because, for example, for rescue, I would figure that the object of the rescue is to get to the survivors before the hunters get to the survivors. But if you get to the survivors before the hunters while you're not even transformed, then it's going to take twice as long for you to kill those survivors.
Right. And then, like you said, and for example, Nest, in Nest, it's, I think, the best place for you to try to win. The reason I say that is because, unlike the hunters, the monster, as long as the monster and one of the 6 eggs there survive a timeline, you'll win. Mm-hmm. But it's like you said, it's about knowing when to hatch and when not to hatch, because if you take too long or you don't get that minion for a distraction, then, yeah, we can shoot through those eggs pretty quickly. Especially, I will say this, playing Bucket, with my missile launcher, it doesn't take much to knock out those eggs. It really doesn't. Now, as Assault, it does take quite a bit, just using a rifle, for example.
You're going to be there for a while. I remember playing as Marquab, and I'm just standing there fucking click, recharge, switch to another gun, zap, 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 zap. Oh, look, that's fucking empty. Back to switch to that. And I did that like 5 or 6 times in succession.
But like with annoying. Bucket, my missiles, like, I shoot, I think, 3 or 4 missiles before I reload, and that's already like a good chunk of health. You can see that damage. And so, depending on who's at the egg shooting it, that does make a difference. So you're right, it doesn't take long to shoot them, so having a minion does give you a little bit more buffer room because they move and throw rocks. Rocks hurt. So, it's about timing there, but that's your best position, because time, if you wait long enough, will automatically make you win. So, it's more on the hunters to try to rush through it. Whereas, like, rescue, as long as we get 5 survivors, which means, 3 waves of 9 survivors, there's a good chance of getting through them pretty quickly.
Yeah, wait, I think there's Hunt, there's Rescue, there's Nest, and Defend, and then what else is there? I think that's it.
Those are the main ones. I could actually back out here. Custom, map. Alright, so Hunt, Nest. Let's go with Hunt for a second, because that's one topic we haven't covered. And, for those who, don't mind waiting around, if this is long enough, I don't mind uploading this quick overview video. But, in Hunt, for example, like, timing there is like on the monster side, because the only thing the hunters need to do is protect the power relay. But for that to happen, the monster has to get to stage 3. Now, I know from getting to stage 3 that that power relay takes a lot of damage. So, I mean, it's all about knowing where the hunters are and how to get to it.
Yeah, but even then, for me, that kind of fucks you, because when you're stage 3, the hunters can just notice you. You're easier to detect.
Well, see, that's the thing.
By the time you get to that relay, you're getting shot at by like 4 people. So you can choose to focus on the relay, or you can choose to focus on people that constantly heal each other.
Right, and that's what I was getting at. Like, for me, I've learned, at least my personal experience, I mean, you may get your own opinion after a few more matches. I mean, just look at how many matches I played as fucking Goliath before we switched. But
yeah.
But in Hunt, I've learned not to focus on the power relay. Yes, if I can get to stage 3, I can knock out the hunters pretty quickly, and that's the other thing. If I knock out the hunters, it'll be great, but the trick about doing the hunter route is if you try to kill all 4 of us, even if you kill one of us, there's already a minute before the next dropship arrives, so it's not very long before someone else shows up. So you gotta do it pretty quickly.
And that's another thing that, like, I guess I could bitch about, but like I said, I'm just gonna consider this like a minor bitching thing. But like, it's just the fact that like how the game almost expects you to kill 4 people in under a minute.
Right, and as far as play types, those are the only 4. I mean, defend puts you in a good position because you do have objectives, and you can get and all 3 of those health bars actually go pretty quick because you have minions helping you. So defend, I think, is easily balanced out with or without handicaps, and with or without monster perks or turret perks, because you can win regardless of what is there. You just gotta do it right, as you've proven. Like I think you've won every defend match since we switched roles, just because you quickly were able to strategize.
I'm not really worried about defend, because defend is pretty easy in concept. I mean, all I have to do is try to protect my minions and try to, help them destroy the...
Well, see, the thing about defend, too, is you're already at stage 3, so there's not a lot you have to focus on. So, let's try to put it this way. We can agree that defend is balanced between the 2 sides. Just because, the health bar isn't, like, overpowered like in, say, Hunt's power relay. Nest can easily, as I put it, rock the monster side better, and Rescue being the hunter side. So, I mean, if you play all 4, it does teeter back and forth quite frequently. Now, Hunt's the only one I can't really play. It's like, yes, it can be easy to kill the monster, but it can also be easy to get killed. So it's about more timing on Hunt as to when battles start and how long battles last.
I honestly think I need to incorporate more sneaking in Hunt, because I don't think I'll be able to kill you guys as swiftly and effectively. And then...
Well, I mean, look at me. Well, look at me. I make our hunts last like 20 to 25 minutes because, like, you can't find me.
Well, like I said, my problem is, getting dropped off in that drop zone and not knowing which direction. It's like I'm a monster with fucking depth perception. Like, I don't have any sense of direction whatsoever. I'm just fucking picking a direction, and oh, look, you guys are there.
Right. But, like, I mean, like I said, Hunt is the only one I can't put on the side, but I'm not willing to say it's balanced, because that power relay is overpowered to try to kill as a monster alone.
Well, like I said, it would be different if they just, like, if they made simple adjustments. Like, simple, minute adjustments to the game, then I feel like it would be, like, yeah, they have a balancing system, but I feel like it would be even more balanced if they just, like, for example, yes, having the monster at stage 3 be easily noticed on, like, Rescue, that would be very useful for you guys. That would be fair, because it's, you guys are more concerned about the survivors than you are me. But knowing where I'm at is useful to you. But for like things like hunt, I don't believe that the being noticed as a monster in stage 3 is really necessary. Like, if your whole goal is to destroy the relay, then why would you want to be noticed? Why would you want to be stage 3? Oh, because you need to be stage 3 to destroy the relay. But if you are stage 3, then you're easily noticed anyway. So you're just going to have 4 people shooting you in the testicles while you're smashing a machine. And what are you going to do? Shoot at the fucking... What are you going to do? Smash the gunners or smash the machine? Because I know sure as hell nobody's ever done both.
So, I mean, like I said, Hunt is the only one that I'm not ready to classify yet, because as a monster, I have been able to win, but I've also lost, even though, you know, it took you forever to find me, because, like, once you found me, it was kind of over if I wasn't ready for the fights. But, again, me being able to run away also helps. So, I mean, I'm not ready to class Hunt, because I've played it as both sides now, and I mean, I would be willing to say it's somewhat balanced, but I'm not willing to call it full balance because of that power relay issue.
I'm not ready to call the game broken yet.
Well, I know,
broken
but
is a bad title.
Well, I would rather, instead of doing the whole game, like, I would rather do Pacific missions, because the point of evacuation is you're doing 5 missions. So, if the last mission's always defend, and I feel personally, and you can agree or disagree, that defend is already well balanced as a mission type itself, between the objectives the monster has to do and what the hunters have to do.
Yes.
Okay, so in Nest, I feel the monster has an advantage. And then in Rescue, I feel the hunters have an advantage. So as long as you do 1 Nest and 1 Rescue, and the defend, you're already pretty classed as balanced, in my opinion, so far on the game. And that's 3 missions. So then you got Hunt, which I'm not really in the class. So it really can go either way doing an evacuation. So just to kind of give people your viewpoint, would you agree with each of those statements, or would you feel like they're balanced or leaning a different way for each of those missions?
For me, like,
since you have played both Hunter and Monster,
I can only say that I don't agree with you, particularly on Nest. But the rest is pretty straightforward. I pretty much agree with you. I'm a little bit leery on Hunt because it can really go either way. But it's not really, like, I haven't fully deciphered whether that type of game is balanced or as balanced as defend. Whereas Rescue, it's clear that the hunters have the advantage. They have fucking jetpacks. They recharge faster than a monster's stamina can jump and use charge.
And then not only that, all 4 of them can revive. So it's not, you know, it's not like, you know, with a monster you can only kill 1 at a time.
Yeah. But the only thing I disagree with is Nest in the aspect of you guys still have those jetpacks, you guys can still move faster than the monster, and the only thing that I have really to defend against, the only real thing that I have to defend against you guys is 1 minion versus like 4 guys. But at the same time, you guys can get to the eggs quicker.
So, I mean, I'm sure after you play a few matches, I mean, I've played the monster more than you, and I will, you know, admit that, you know, you don't have a full, you know, spectrum on that. That, you know, since I've won a fair share of Nest, I do feel it is balanced toward me because of the minion. And
if anything,
I don't know if you know this or have discovered this, but as a monster, when you spawn in Nest, there's an egg for you to hatch, like, right away.
Oh, I know that. It's just, I know from personal experience, because this has happened to me like 3 times already. Like, yeah, that's cool and all to like be spawned like right by an egg, and it's cool to hatch it right away. Only it's not cool to hatch it right away because it'll go straight for you guys and be killed in like the next 2 minutes.
Right. So,
So
I mean, but, I mean, for what it comes down to it, I mean, at least everyone has our opinions on this. And, you know, I will probably clip this out and put it on YouTube just as a kind of an overview, review type of thing. Just because, you know, now that we've played both sides, can safely back up our opinions on these 4 courses. But, you know, after you've played Monster a few more times, I think, you know, I'm almost ready to team up with you on a Hunter Spectrum. And then we'll just, like, trash everything because... But,
I definitely intend on playing a couple more evacs. Give me a little bit more chances. Maybe I'm not gonna boil it down to how many streams or whatever.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna boil it down to like how many streams or what. But basically, I boiled it down to this: if you can get 3 wins as a monster, so can I. So, I'm not gonna really place a time limit on it, but that's really the expectation that I've set for myself.
Hey, and I can't fault you. You know, I can't fault you on that either because, like, you know, knowing that it's possible is already motivation enough. But you know, eventually we'll have to try out Arena. But I'm not after, you know, having already read up on Arena, I'm not too thrilled about it because that immediately throws you into battles all the time, and I don't think that's going to be as fun as a monster because, like, there's no really the goal other than kill each other. And
oh my god, genetic defective monsters meets Call of Duty, great.
But I mean, you know, all these effects too. I'm gonna flip through them. So, in our streams, I can safely say that, you know, I've had the Everstar ally against me, and you have as well. Space Laser, my god, that terrified me the first couple of times I saw it. Falling Satellite, when I was able to counteract, I remember seeing that effect once before. Falling satellite pieces hitting hunters, I think it was against you. Force Field, I saw today, that wasn't too bad. Although I did learn that the Force Field does also restrict the hunters, I can't just run through it. So, it can be a catch-22. Man,
but, I mean, I think my conclusive thoughts is originally I suspected that the game might be broken in terms of the hunters, but at the same time, since there have been times where you have won against me, I think 1 or 2 times, where you've won against me collectively as the monster, where you beat me 3 times, and there was that bunch of times where I just kept winning and winning and winning as Hunter, and then, so, another thing that I'm suspecting is whether or not the game is truly broken in terms of the Hunters, and whether or not it truly is just easier, like, whether or not it truly is just easier to play as the Hunters than playing as the monster, and maybe playing as the monster takes more skill than playing as a Hunter.
So, I mean, there's several effects on here that we haven't come across, like man-eating eels. I haven't seen that come up yet. It's kind of terrifying concept. I've had both teleport gates and teleport rifts. Now, I don't think I've ever used a rift as a monster. I know I've had the ability to, though. Cargo ship, obviously, we get that multiple times. Second monster, as an effect, I can't recall actually getting it. But, fair weather, yes. Storms, yes. So, I mean, there's only, in my opinion, Ebustor corpses, 1, Man-Eating Eels 2. The only 2 effects that we haven't actually experienced together. So, it's not too bad. But I hope you guys enjoy this review, that, this slight after-game review that we've done, just kind of collectively evaluated it. But unfortunately, this will have to be the end of the stream. But thank you all for watching.